What's up YouTube, this is Dragon, and I found something very interesting on the internet. It's by an illustrator named Fran Krause, and what he's done is he's taken people's submissions of their deepest and darkest fears and he's turned them into an art form. Now this is my first time going through his art myself, and if you're interested in who he is, I will leave a link for his Facebook, website, and YouTube page in the description. And without further ado, we will go through his art. There is a mirror in my bedroom. I worry that while I was asleep, my reflection sits up and watches me. I resonate with that fear. Well, when I was a bit younger, I used to have that fear. Winter is a nice time to go ice skating with someone you love. If they fall down, don't accidentally skate over their fingers. Something I've always thought about, like whenever I go ice skating, what if you fall and like somebody just happens to come near you and they're skating into you, and then like what if they go into your eyes? Oh God. When I was a kid, a priest told me about Mary, how God thought she was perfect, so she made her pregnant. I didn't want God to make me pregnant, so I tried not to be his type. That's pretty funny. That's a very unique fear, but it's pretty funny, it's comical. When I wake up, I open my eyes very slowly, so anything that may be in my room has a chance to hide. You know, I kind of remember this myself. Like, I would think like, oh, I want the boogeyman to go away, so, you know, if I wait a little bit longer, then maybe he'll go away and, like, might be scared of me, which is funny because I was really scared of him. It gets really icy in Brooklyn. I worry I'll slip and gouge my eyes on a wrought iron fence, and it'll be too slippery to free myself. Ooh. I remember riding my bike, and like one time I was going really fast and I was super close to having this happen to me, and ever since then I've been super careful while riding my bike. And yes, that is a real fear. When I say hello to people and they don't respond, I worry that I'm dead and I just don't know it yet. Never had that fear, but I understand. I understand where he's coming from. When I was younger, I worried that when I died, I'd become an extra in other people's dreams. Sometimes I feel that all the people in my dreams are dead and have nowhere else to go. Sometimes I wonder, like, if I'm just living like in the Matrix. Like, what if the Matrix is real? You know, you never know. You never know. What the fuck? Sometimes I feel people are reading my mind, so I think of something funny. That way, if I hear anyone else laugh, I'll know. What the? Oh my God. Yeah, the mind reading thing I understand, but really? What is that? I worry that my life is an illusion. It's all a dream. I worry I'll wake up and someday realize I'm just a very imaginative dog. Kind of like the Matrix thing. Understood. My mom told me that if I rode the escalator with my shoes untied, it would grab the laces and suck me under. She said all the mall cops were kids who got sucked into the escalator and had to stay there forever. Wow, your mom was pretty terrible. But I was kind of worried about the escalators myself. Like, what if my foot got like stuck in between the ends of the escalator and just yeah, good times or bad times, scary times. I hope I don't ever turn into an old person who makes kids afraid of getting old. That is something you think about, like when you see somebody in a very debilitating situation and like in their older, like in their 60s and 70s, it's like you kind of think about that, like I wonder what their lives are like, what's going on in their lives. I worry that after I die, all my senses will continue to work. I don't know if embalming, if embalming would be worse than cremation. That is a very interesting fear. What if you're never really dead, but you're just like in a zombie, non-animative state in a sense? That is a very interesting fear. Sometimes when I'm pooping, I worry that at that moment, it's a dream and I'm really pooping my pants somewhere else. But what's a clown doing? Why is a clown there? I'll be more afraid of a clown being here than pooping in front of everybody and not knowing it. That is more scary. I live alone. When I have to go to the bathroom late at night, I worry that when I go back to bed, somebody will be there waiting for me. That is something that when I was living alone at the time, I used to think about things like that too. Yeah. Well, I mean, not seriously, but you know, it is a real fear. You know, it is a real fear. I worry that I'll fall and bite off my tongue, and when I call 911, they won't be able to understand me. I resonate with that. Like, what if something hits me in the face and then I have my tongue in between my teeth, and like, I wouldn't want anything to happen to my tongue. I like eating things and stuff. I don't like the revolving gates at the subway station. Sometimes I carry too much stuff. I worry that someday I'll get stuck and the rush hour crowd will push me through like a food processor. Now, I know the mass crowd, the crowd feeling, you know, is a bit of an issue, but I don't think people are that heartless in a sense. I guess if they were all rushing for their lives, then maybe, but not just through rush hour. That seems a little dark. I am not the original owner of my body. I was once a wandering ghost. I stole it. Whenever I hear voices, I know it's the original owner trying to make me leave. Wow. That is quite interesting. That is quite an interesting fear. When I was little, I knew that if I turned around quick, I'd go to a different dimension that was identical but fake. If I turned around again, I'd go back home. I'd lost track of how many times I'd turned. That's cute. I won't really say that's scary, but that's kind of cute. When I was a kid, I knew where babies came from. They came out of your butt. Even though I'm a boy, I always checked my poops to make sure I didn't have any babies. But why? Who submitted this? Oh my God. When I was little, my aunt told me that a hungry worm lived in my nose. If I kept picking my nose, it would bite my fingertip off. It terrified me. Ooh. Man, your aunt is terrible. Yeesh. Man, I'm glad my parents never told me things like that. Jesus lives inside of you. He lives deep inside your heart. Truly. Oh, I'm so afraid. That's a unique fear. Very unique, very unique. Once when I was a young kid in New England, I was picking blackberries in the woods. I ate one, seeds and all. An older kid told me that the seed would never digest. It would grow as a thorny vine along my arteries. Ooh, that is very scary. Ooh. I can imagine being told that at like 5 or 6. Ooh, young and impressionable. Yikes. I don't like being too close to sharp knives, so I push them away till they're just out of reach. You know, totally resonate with this. When I'm like handing scissors to people, I'm very cognizant of how I hand over the scissors to people, because when I was younger, my parents told me, make sure you hand it over this way, you know, don't hand it to people the sharp way. So, you know, it's just something I always thought about. I worry a strong wave will hit and turn me around. I'll try to get back to shore, not knowing that I'm only swimming farther out to sea. Ooh. Now that is scary. Being lost at sea, not knowing where or which way is the proper way to go, like, that's true fear. That is true fear. I worry that when I die, it won't happen all at once. It'll start at my feet, and I'll feel it working its way up. Ooh. You know, it's interesting, a lot of people, when they give accounts of like feeling like they're dying, they say it feels really good. So I mean I guess it's, oh, there's more. Okay. I was like, wasn't there like 33 or something? Like, I have a deal worked out with the things that hide in my basement. After I shut off the lights, I have exactly 10 seconds to leave safely. I always use the full 10 seconds, hoping to see a flash of movement just as I reach safety. You know, it's funny, like when I was younger, I used to kind of, in a sense, do those things too. Like, you know what? I'll make a deal with you spirits that may be there. I'll give you a few seconds, and you give me a few seconds, and then you can do whatever you want to me. You know, but it was silly. It was silly. I worry that at my funeral, nobody will have good stories or have nice things to say. Hey, just don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. What can I say? I guess we should close this. Yeah. Story of my life. The story of his life. Yeesh. When I look at the stars, I worry that gravity will reverse. I wonder what's up with that. I don't know how to feel about that fear. Oh, there's more. And I'll fall up into the sky forever. Okay, that's a little bit more dark. I understand. That's something I don't really fear, because I know if it's me, then everyone else has to go. So, you know, laws of gravity and all. 9.8 meters per second squared. Sometimes I feel like my life is just a movie, and everyone I know is a paid actor. And if I could only see behind my back, the end credits would just be starting their crawl. Okay. Well, that's interesting. When I was little, my grandma told me if I played with my belly button, all my guts would fall out, and I'd have to carry them around for the rest of my life in a laundry basket. Ooh, Grandma, my God, what is your grandma on? Why would your grandma say such things? That's crazy. When I was a kid, I read that the Great Wall of China had bodies, people who had built it, trapped in its walls. I thought that all houses had bodies in their walls, and that a red skeleton was trapped in my stairwell. Ooh, now that is scary. I kind of feel sorry for this guy who submitted this. That's a very, very mentally straining thing, and that's just totally, no. That's scary. When I was little, my mom told me that if I kept wetting my bed, worms would grow out of my mattress, and they'd eat me alive. Whew. Negative reinforcement, but man, that's very negative reinforcement. Oh my God. Just tell your child not to wet the bed, jeez. Oh my God. Oh my God. Now that just scared the living hell out of me. What the fuck? I'm afraid once I'll open my wardrobe and I'll find a little girl showing me her face, and I'll turn her around like in Blair Witch Project 2, and at first she'll just stare at me with cold, oh God, I'm so scared, coal black eyes, and then she'll start screaming at me out the top of her lungs, and her face will become like this, staring at me to death. Scaring me to death. That's some... Wow. That is scary. Oh, some of the comments. My god, now I have some new fears. Yeah, me too. Yes, mate, those fears. Yeah, mate. Exactly, those... No, I have a terrible British accent. I'm not even going to. No. I got hooked on having an online bit... No, ads. Oh my god. Elena, I have the exact same fear. I see what you did there. I see what you did there. Wow. Is there any more? Any more? Just gonna skim through the comments. Wow, so that was pretty interesting. Very interesting set of fears. If you're interested, his Facebook, YouTube, and his official website will be in the description. So you can go and enjoy more of his artwork that he'll be producing in the future. And I have to say that this was quite interesting, and I'll be looking forward for more of his art. And I hope that you guys enjoyed it as well. Well, see you later.